Hey Cancer, it's Regina here at Tarot in Time. Let's talk about the month of July. So July is really exciting for you, and I'm a Cancer rising, so I just love talking about how good it feels right now for Cancer. Now, the sun is in our sign until the 20th of July. So the sun's shining. It's summertime here in Northwest Connecticut. Let's enjoy the beauty. And, I know there's a lot of atrocities happening in this world right now, but we have to protect our joy and we have to enjoy the gift of life that we've been given. So this is a great time to do that. Now, Jupiter, the planet of luck and blessings, has moved into our sign just in the past couple weeks. So it's going to be here for the next year. And Jupiter, the planet of luck, blessings, expansion, does its very best in the sign of Cancer. It's considered to be exalted there. I'm excited to see what that's going to bring. So you've got the sun, Jupiter, and Venus kind of hanging out together. So anytime the sun and Venus get together, it can bring in a lot of love. It can bring in harmony. It can be very visible. So whether you're looking for love or you're just looking for more love in your heart and your already existing relationships, this is a good time for it. If you're looking to expand your friendships or looking to date, this is a great time for it also. Now, you do have a square with Saturn and Neptune in Aries. So a square, 90-degree angle. It's considered a challenge, a hardship. And so Saturn, always hitting my hand on the table when I talk about Saturn, the planet of restriction. So it's always going to be kind of hitting us. So we can't goof off all summer. We have to make sure that we're paying attention to the important things. And then Neptune's there also. So whenever I see Saturn and Neptune together, I kind of get this idea of like, are you taking care of your responsibilities? But then are you giving yourself enough creative time, downtime, rest time? So those are going to be things that are going to come up. And these planets are currently in the sign of Aries. They're retrograding. They're going to be moving backwards into Pisces later in the year. So Aries is all full speed ahead. So there's this square. In Cancer, we tend to be a little bit slower. So we don't want to rush. We got to find that balance between rest and work and the balance between go and slow down. Okay. So those are all things that we're going to be brought to our attention. Now, we do have the full moon in Capricorn this month, and Capricorn is a sign across from Cancer. So there's an opposition. One side wants one thing, one side wants the other. So it's kind of a repetition of this balance. And so the only way we can really understand balance and really appreciate balance is by not having it. So I know for myself, I am trying to get my store organized, right? And it kind of seeps into my home. Been trying for a while to get things together so I can still function here and feel restful when I'm in my own home. So I am hoping that this is going to come to a head this month, that I'm going to be able to figure out exactly how to balance it, because I sure have learned the hard way. Okay, so I hope that that happens for you also. Now, the moon moves into the sign of Cancer on July 22nd at 8:26 a.m. and it stays there until July 24th at 11:28 a.m. So these will be extra special, powerful times for you. And especially since it's in the sign of Cancer, those would be great days to take off and to rest. Okay, so July 22nd through 24th. So let's go into the cards here and let's pull a couple theme cards for you for the month Cancer. I haven't looked at any of these yet. Oh, I guess I'm getting two there from the Tarot of the New Visions. And I'm going to give you one here from the Relative Tarot. That's a jumper. And I'm also going to give you a Relative Oracle. I have the Kickstarter version of these decks, which is they were modified once they were released. So they go by the Relative Tarot, and then the Beloved Dead is the Oracle that's sold separately. So you might, if you're curious about these cards, they might be a little bit different now, but we do have them all in stock in Kent, Connecticut, and very soon online. So let's see what you've got here. Your first card is the Lovers. Now, we know this is a major arcana. This is a major secret of life card, often called the Fated cards. And so there's a life lesson to be learned here. This is Gemini. right? This is the Lovers. This is about choices. And yes, we have choices in love. We have choices in our life. We know this is Adam and Eve, and they didn't really think it through. And they made a choice that supposedly affected all of us. So it's interesting to see this from like the back view, because that's what the Tarot of the New Visions is. It's a different angle of the Rider-Waite. We can see that there's looks like there's horses and all sorts of animals in the background there that they're looking out over. And so their decisions really affected all. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're going slow with your decisions this month. You know that we're going into so many retrogrades. If you don't know what I'm talking about, head over and listen to the July month ahead, because we talk all about the Neptune, Pluto, Saturn, and Mercury retrograde going on this month. So you want to be very careful during the Mercury retrograde about your choices, but in general this month, okay? And I got so many notes about the month. The Mercury retrograde starts on July 18th and then goes till August 10th. And so you're going to be very careful there. You're going to mark your calendar. Now, it also is the Lovers, and we were talking about how the Sun and Venus and all that. So there can be love, there can be partnerships showing up, just don't rush in. Your next card is the Eight of Wands, which is interesting because I've heard this often called the honeymoon card. But we see things moving ahead. And so making sure, that you're not jumping right in, like you're not, running off and eloping in Vegas or something, because things aren't clear right now. And retrogrades aren't a great time to make major decisions. They're a great time to review your decisions. They're a great time to consider your options. Let's see what your third card is. And we've got the Seven of Cups. And this is a card of fogginess, right? Like not only are things foggy, but his eyes are covered. So we don't want to jump into huge decision making. We want to feel our way through. There's a lot of Neptune energy as it is retrograding. So the Seven of Cups says, trust intuition, wait for things to clear because you could mistake something, right? I always used to think that was a mushroom in the background. And I found out later that that's the high priestess underneath there, right? So it's almost like confusion, mistaking something for something else. Let's see what else we've got. And we've got the religion card. It's funny that I was talking about not running off and getting married. It's here's the priest that would marry you. So the religion card coming in also next to this delusion. And, if you haven't heard my story about growing up as a Jehovah's Witness, I have a blog on the website, tarotandtime.com. I talk a lot write some short stories about my experience of growing up like that. So this religion card just kind of relates to me in that way, because to me, religion very much confused me, gave me a lot of illusion. I couldn't see clearly how the world is now. I have to take the religion out of it. So interesting mix of relationships. It's got marriage vibes, it's got fogginess, and it's got themes of, to me, religion is control. Let me just give you one more. This is going to be from the Herb Crofters Tarot, one of my favorite. You see me use this one often. We got two jumper cards, so let's just lay those on the table. The first one is the Three of Fire, Calendula, and this is liquid sunshine, and there's a lot of joy. There's a lot of vibrancy here. And the Three of Fire is usually about going on a trip or going off, moving forward. So we see forward movement here and a lot of joy. And then we've got the Six of Air, Cattail, which this is kind of a minor version of the Lover. So you almost got the repetition here. Now, I just love this picture, cattails, and just feels so summer-like to me. And so there's all these feather pens, there's all this expression. And so maybe you have a lot to say here, or it's almost to process. But this is a good time for that. Retrogrades are a great time to process, to review things, to rewrite something. And so I see you kind of pausing and taking a chance to look at all the options, have some fun, enjoy the summer, but not jump into major things or any to me, religion feels like something you have to do. And so it's saying kind of choose joy and take your time and really slow down and really look at your words and look at the feeling of it. I hope that makes sense to you. Okay, so these are your theme cards. I'm going to push these kind of to the back a little bit here. And we're going to continue doing a reading here. And what I've been doing is making a couple piles. So the first pile, let's see, what do? We did career, work, anything you need to know regarding work. I'm going to put 2 cards there. Now, I had some comments about how people said they felt like the piles, they got the answer they were looking for in a different pile. This is a general reading, so please take what it is that you get. Sometimes, yeah, you may receive the message that you were looking for, and it might not, maybe it comes in through a different pile, but I still think that you should take the message that you get. Now, the second pile is your home life, your family life, and let's give you one more there. Then we're going to do one for your love life, okay? Anything to do with love, joy. Oh, I got 2 there. And then anything else that you may need to know, anything you need to be aware of that we haven't talked about yet. And I'm going to give you an oracle over here. Okay, so the first pile is work. Let's see what we got. We've got the Knave of Swords or the Page of Swords. And so we know this is young energy, and we know that swords is communication. Well, we've had the Lovers, which is implying that. We had the 6 of Air, that was implying that. So there may be something new that you're working on or studying. But remember, this isn't a great month to go out and like if you're starting a new business and saying oh, here, launching my new business, not the greatest time during retrogrades, but it's a great time to begin with the beginner's mind and to step into some new studies, step into some new territory, but kind of in the background for yourself. You also got the 4 of Wands. 4 is a pause number. And Wands is fire, and it's joy, and it's passion. And there just looks like such friendship here and celebration. So make sure that you're getting that in your life, because this came up for work. And it's kind of showing me a little bit of partnership, but it's also saying slow down. Maybe you're doing some studies. Maybe you're kind of looking at things through a beginner's mind, but that's a good thing. That's where you need to be right now, and really kind of just enjoying the joy that's around right now. Now, your family life, you've got the 7 of Wands. So there's a lot. You might be navigating a lot of things. It looks like people are shouting down here, and we're dealing with what's going on in the world and how everyone's absorbing that. So the 7 of Wands, there's a lot that you're tending to. You also got the 6 of Pentacles, and she looks like she's almost busking or something, playing an instrument, asking for money. And so there may be a lot of, it just kind of feels like there's a lot coming at you and a lot of different people that need money from you. All right. So navigating that. Now, this is your love life. And we've got the 3 of Cups. It feels like a family tree to me, handed down over generations. Got 3 gentlemen here. Looks like they're looking right at you. So if you're single, there's definitely there's suitors here. There's people lined up. 3 of Cups is a card of joy. So there's a lot of fun here. And we saw Venus energy, and we saw the sun energy and Jupiter energy. And you got to take that while you can get that. So if there's a way for you to slow down in the month of July and be able to, maybe you go into something in your business that you've been overlooking for a while, or some paperwork that you need to do, or something that you have an option that you need to look into. This is a good time for that. But it's also a good time to be able to just enjoy that you've got a lot of love and good vibes. You've also got the Knight of Swords. So you had the Page up here, the Knight is here, and he's another, gentleman just looking right at you. And I know most of the people that listen to my videos are women. So you have a lot of men around. Okay. And if you are, if you're a man looking for a woman or man, whatever your choice is, there's people here. Okay. I really don't always see these cards as this is a man, this is a woman. There's people here. There's people interested. There's people looking right at you. Okay. So show up, enjoy. And sometimes love, we have an idea of what love is, but sometimes the interaction with people can just bring us so much joy. Now, anything else that you need to know is over here. And you have the Two of Swords. And Two of Swords is like, some people say it's like when you come to an impasse, so you're not sure which way to go. But to me, I see a person sitting on what might be a beach and a person who's going inward and taking some time out for themselves. That horse is like waiting for her, but she needs to take this pause. So it's kind of like slow down, get clear with yourself. And then you have the Labor card. All right. And so interesting that it's like slow down and then the Labor card, which shows hard work. So it's important that it's not always just labor, labor, labor. It's important that there's these pauses. All right. So I hope that you felt some connection with that. Now let's go week by week here. I'm going to use these cute little golden Art Nouveau tarot, and let's just put a card on the calendar for each week of the month of July. Okay, so you have the 10 of Pentacles here for the week of June 30th through July 6th. And to me, I just see a lot of family around. I see like your legacy. There's a lot of beauty here. Almost has like social energy as these two people are crossing, kind of greeting each other in the background. So maybe you have some family vibes over the 4th of July. 10 of Pentacles to me is just a beautiful, it's not like almost like a happy family card, but I think of that more as like the 10 of Cups. 10 of Pentacles shows stability and long-term success. Now, the next week that we move into is the week of the July 7th through July 13th. This is the week Uranus enters Gemini, and aren't we heading to a full moon? Yes, that's the full moon week on the 10th, Capricorn full moon. That's going to be happening right across from us, Cancer. And here's the 5 of Wands. So there's a lot going on. 5 is change. Wands is fire. Sometimes this can be like struggle with others or it can be an internal struggle, but we see a lot of movement here. So just, be careful with your words and everything because you know that we're going to move back over everything that's happening right now because of the retrogrades. Now, Saturn retrograde begins the end of that week. Then we move into the week of the 13th, Sunday the 13th through Sunday the 20th. And this is the week, let's see, Mercury retrograde begins on the 18th. So here is the 9 of Swords. Swords is air, just like Mercury. This is often called the insomnia card. There's just a lot on the mind. There's a lot of overstimulation. There's a lot of worry. Okay, so the best thing you could do is get rest. Try to get the most rest that you can. Now, the following week is the 20th through the 27th. This is the week that the sun moves into Leo and the Leo new moon happens on the 24th. And you've got the 3 of Cups. So this is the second time the 3 of Cups showed up for you. It showed up in your love life. So this is a great week, the 20th. Because that's also when the moon moves into Cancer on the 22nd. So a lot of joy and a lot of great people around. Now, your final week of the month, which is when the 28th through 8/3, this is the week that Venus enters Cancer. So I think I made an error earlier when I said Venus was going to be in Cancer all month. It's going to be in Gemini all month, and it's going to move into Cancer at the end of the month. So Venus in Gemini is very compatible to you, Cancer, and it's very fun. And then Venus will move into your sign the end of the month. So here's the High Priestess, speaking of the sign Cancer, and she is ruled by the moon. So out of every week, your last week of the month is where you get a major arcana. And she's major arcana number 2. So this is a relationship number. So I really think this last week of the month could be a really lovely one for you. Just trust intuition to pull you into the right situations because it's going to be really strong this month. All right, let me move these cards over because I want to throw you some dice and some charms. And please comment. Please let me know what part of the readings you like, what you don't like. I love the feedback. Feel free to ask questions. Let's see what we've got here. So your dice, you've got Saturn in Aries in the 6th house. Okay, well, Saturn is currently in Aries. It's retrograding. It's going to end up back in Pisces later in the year. So Saturn, right? Bang your hand on the table. Saturn. Saturn is your responsibilities. It has a lot to do with your family life too. It's like this 10 of Pentacles. It's your legacy. in the sign of Aries, and Aries is all about I am and forward movement. And the 6th house is Virgo's house, and it's the house of health and well-being and service and contribution. So I kind of get the repeated theme here of like, how much are you giving? Are you giving enough to yourself? Are you thinking through before you commit to things? Themes like that, okay? All right, now let's get the charm bowl. A big old punch bowl of charms, and we're just gonna toss them over and see what we've got going on. This is always the fun part. And I'm just gonna flip some letters over and see if we can make any words, anything, any names. And we got one up at the top. All right, let's see. Let me just take a little look at this. Rhino, R-I-N-N-O, R-I-N-O. I see the word act, A-C-T. All right, I don't see a lot. I see SF at the bottom, which is, to me, is San Francisco. I see CT, Connecticut. The word no. All right, well, let's see what you see. All right, let's keep going here. So up at the top, we have a guitar. And we have the letter G and a tree of life and the sun. And this looks like a castle with a key. I hope you get to go on some nice vacation, maybe some nice rental property. You got like a crossing guard up here on the 30th of June. You've got like a family crest here on the 1st. There was a lot of family vibes this week with the 10 of Pentacles there. You've got a symbol for Mother Mary. Got an owl there on the 3rd of July, along with this black stone. I think it's hematite. On the 5th, you have like a wine goblet. On the 7th, you have a piece of smoky quartz, okay, with the number 2 off to the side on the 6th of July. So maybe you have some friends around. Let's see. The 9th looks pretty chock full. We've got another Mother Mary symbol, another guitar, and I don't know what this little thing is. He looks like some kind of fairy. Okay, so a lot of activity on the 9th of July. Now, this word no is kind of coming across here on the 2nd, 3rd, 9th, 10th, or it could be the word on. And another symbol for, is this Mary again? It says B-I-G-R-A-R-D. I'm not sure what that is, but I think it's another Mary. On the back of it, it says, Patron of Mothers, help me. All right, on the 10th. Now, on the 11th, you have a sailboat, and you got a lot of concentrated energy this week of the 13th through the 19th. So the 13th, you've got the word hand. The 15th, you've got a coyote howling, a wine goblet, the letter A, some dog tags, a battleship, a wrench. And then on the 16th, the letter C. I think this INT are landing the next week below it. Okay. The word can, C-A-N, 17th an N, 18th tree of life, another N. Also see the word in, I-N-N. And we had that castle up there. So I hope you get to stay somewhere wonderful. A lot of activity, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th. Over here on the 22nd, you have another Mary and Jesus symbol, the word IT, or it on the 3rd, R on the 24th, isn't that RIT, Rochester Institute of Technology? I've got the word can't. Let's see, on the 25th, you have the number 55, along with a little dragon. Got an open book on the 26th. So you got a lot of activity, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, then to the 26th. Down here on the 28th, you have the word intuitive, along with the High Priestess. A heart here on the 29th, one of these, like, I think it's maybe black onyx. And at the very bottom, the SF with a saxophone and a horse. So, I don't know, it felt like San Francisco to me. Okay, so these are your activity for the month, and I really hope that you have a great one, Cancer.